Hello, everybody. Hello. I came across this video and I wanted to watch it with you guys and give my own, I guess, 2 cents in it and my own dialogue. It's called 14 million people are in a lawsuit against Valve and they don't even know it. So let's go in and watch this.
Someone is trying to take Gabe Newell for nearly $1 billion, specifically £656 million. If you live in the UK and you've bought a game on Steam since 2018 or 2010 if you're in Scotland, a group of lawyers is claiming you were robbed. They filed a massive class action lawsuit in the London Competition Appeal Tribunal, and as of January 26, 2026, a judge just ruled that this case is moving forward to a full-blown legal war. You may remember as we first covered this case when it was starting back in 2024, which is different from the other antitrust cases Valve is facing in the United States right now. On the surface, this sounds like a win for the little guy, right? The lawsuit claims Valve is a big, bad monopoly using its dominant position to overcharge us by 30% on every single purchase. They say Valve is stifling competition and forcing prices up, but most gamers would know that's simply not true. Today we're diving into the recent 2026 filing for Vicky Shotbolt vs. Valve Corporation. I've read the judgment, I've seen the evidence, and I'm going to show you why Valve's defense is actually incredibly strong, and why their competitors failing isn't Valve's fault. It's just that their competitors kind of suck. Now let's look at the filing. The proposed class representative, or PCR, is a woman
Understatement.
named
The
Vicky
competitors
Shotbolt.
suck.
Her team claims that Valve has engaged in 3 specific anti-competitive behaviors. First, there's the 30% commission. The filing states the PCR's case on excessive pricing is that the 30% commission is significantly above a competitive level. They're calling this an unfair price that gets
But Steam's competitors can afford to do that. Like, Steam's competitors, quote unquote, are businesses that tower over Valve in the first place.
passed directly to you, the consumer. Second, they're attacking price parity. They allege Valve uses platform most favored nation clauses, which claims Valve tells developers if you sell your game on Steam, you aren't allowed to sell it cheaper anywhere else. The lawsuit says this restricts the ability of other platforms to compete on price. Third, they hate add-on bundling. They claim Valve forces publishers to use Steam's payment system for DLCs and in-game items, ensuring Valve gets their 30% cut of every hat, skin, and map pack. On paper, this might sound like a monopoly, but the tribunal's judgment reveals a massive hole in the prosecution's logic. This is where the lawsuit starts to fall apart. Valve's lead defense is something the PCR seemingly ignored in their initial math, which are Steam keys. If you ever bought a Steam game from Humble Bundle, Fanatical, or directly from a developer's website, you know that Valve generates those keys for developers for free. Valve takes a 0% commission on those sales, just straight up zero. In the 2026 judgment, Valve's lawyers argue that the lawsuit is fundamentally broken because it doesn't account for this. The document quotes Valve's defense. Without a credible plan for taking Steam keys into account, the PCR cannot establish Steam's actual effective commission charge. And without this, the PCR cannot establish whether the commission charge amounts to an unfair price. Just think about that for a second. If a developer sells 50% of their copies via Steam keys, where Valve takes 0%, and 50% through the Steam store, where Valve takes 30%, the effective commission isn't 30%, it's actually 15%. Valve provides the servers, the bandwidth, the forums, the workshop, and the cloud saves for all of those users, even the ones who didn't pay Valve a single penny. The PCR is trying to claim Valve is greedy while ignoring the fact that Valve literally gives away its infrastructure to developers to sell elsewhere without giving Valve anything. As Valve argued in the filing, the suing group failed to show a plan to determine which Steam partners actually paid these allegedly unfair prices.
I'm also going to note that Steam doesn't have many Steam exclusives because they're all like Steam's library is made up by small like indie artists and mostly a lot of AAA games. So there aren't really any Steam exclusives to be had. So it's not really a good argument.
Lawsuit claims Valve is restricting competition. So let's look at the competition. For years, we've heard from Epic Games that they were going to save gamers from Steam with their 12% cut. They spent hundreds of millions of dollars on exclusives. They've given away hundreds of free games, and yet most PC gamers still prefer Steam. But
Okay, I want to add something on here because I do remember something about Epic. Epic is one of the most greedy ones as well because they have an Epic exclusive library and restrict any of their like users to like sell their games on Steam and Epic. Also, I want to note, yeah, they sued a 14-year-old kid for $150,000 because he was showing, hey, like people on Fortnite, hey, these are the cheats that are out there. So Epic, you can take them off Fortnite because I'm showing you that these cheats are here. Yet instead of going after the people that made the cheats, they decided to just make an example out of them by suing a 14-year-old kid. Epic is one of the worst. If they didn't have Fortnite, I would never use Epic.
why is that? It's because the Epic Game Store is, quite frankly, a mess compared to Steam. Where is the Epic Games Workshop? Where is their version of the robust Steam input system that makes almost any controller work? Where are the community forums, the trading cards, the market, the discovery queue, the reviews, and the Proton layer that lets us play Windows games on Linux and the Steam Deck? The lawsuit argues that Valve's 30% cut is excessive, but it fails to quantify the massive value of the services Valve provides. If you go to a fancy restaurant, you pay more than you would at a simple drive-thru. You aren't being overcharged, you're simply just paying for the experience and that service. Steam is the fine dining experience of PC gaming because anyone can go to Epic and collect free games. But as we talked about in our previous video, many gamers would actually rather choose to buy it from Steam instead. The judge essentially said that while Valve's points about Steam keys are important, they are matters for a trial, not for stopping the lawsuit before it starts. The tribunal used a legal concept called the broad axe. This is a real term used in UK competition law. It means that if a court thinks there has been a wrong, they don't need a scientific or mathematical calculation of the damages. They can
Another note is that Steam actually labels games that have AI used in their games and putting a flag on them saying AI generated content isn't a game. They actually care about their people. So everyone prefers Steam for a good fucking reason.
use a broad axe to estimate what Valve might owe. But here's what the lawyers behind this class action won't tell you. If they win and Valve is forced to pay them £656 million, what happens next? The lawsuit claims individual gamers could get between £22 and £44 back, which isn't even enough to get you a AAA game today. But in exchange, you are attacking the one company that has consistently pushed PC gaming forward. If Valve is forced to lower its commission or change its price parity rules, this lawsuit is being brought by Vicky Shotbolt Class Representative Limited, which is a company set up to sue Valve. This isn't a grassroots movement of angry gamers like with what you would see with Stop Killing Games. It's a calculated legal strike by people who see a nearly $1 billion pile of money and want a piece of it. Now let's be real about the other distribution channels the lawsuit mentions. The filing says Valve prohibits publishers from selling on better terms elsewhere. If Ubisoft, EA, or Epic really wanted to take Steam down, all they had to do was make a better app. EA tried with Origin, but it was so bad they eventually crawled back to Steam. Ubisoft tried with Uplay. Everyone hated it, and they also came crawling back to Steam. Epic is still trying, and they still don't have a basic basic big picture mode that competes with Valve. Steam constantly wins because everyone else just sucks. So the judgment on January 26, 2026 was just the beginning. It means the court has officially certified the class. If you are a UK gamer, you are now officially a part of this. It is an opt-out system similar to the publisher lawsuit happening in the United States.
If people in the UK, like if true gamers in the UK knew about this and saw, oh yeah, Valve is being sued for a bunch of bullshit, I am willing to bet that at least 80 to 90%, maybe more, would opt out because people respect Steam because Steam respects their players and their like users rather than everyone else that just sees greed. There's millions of examples of this.
You don't even have to sign up. The lawyers have actually already signed you up. They are claiming to represent around 14 million people. But here's the kicker. Valve isn't backing down and just letting them win. In the filing, Valve points out that the suing group failed to show a plan to determine which Steam partners actually paid these allegedly unfair prices. If the lawyers can't prove which developers were harmed, how can they prove the consumers were also harmed from them? I think we're watching a massive attempt to tax Valve's success. Steam changed PC gaming. Valve built a solution. They took the risk when nobody else would. Calling them a monopoly now just because they're the only ones who did it right is a slap in the face to every gamer who enjoys the features Steam provides for free. If you want a cheaper, worse experience, the Epic Game Store is right there. The fact that nobody wants to use it isn't Valve's fault. This lawsuit is going to drag on for years, but as it stands, Valve has the facts on their side. But I want to hear it from you. Do you feel robbed by Valve, or are you like me and you think Steam actually treats its users with respect? Now don't forget to subscribe and like this video if you want to stay updated on everything related to Valve and Steam.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Someone is trying.
Thank you very much, W Water CS2. Thank you. Everyone go check out this video, give him some support, hit that like button here because he points it out right. That's a, like no, like yeah, Microsoft did make a gaming area tried to go against Steam, but guess what? They showed their greed and are also being sued because of Minecraft, but yeah, that's another story. It's just like Steam is one of the best like things that happen to gamers because they make a good gaming library rather than Epic who just hits greed after greed and trying and calls out bullshit all over Twitter and just argues with everybody without providing any facts that actually work against Steam. Like everyone just sucks. Steam is one of the best things that happen to the gamers, I guess. Yeah. Everyone, go check out this guy. He did a good job. So if you guys like this video, hit that like button. If you want to share it, please share it and let people know that this is happening because I'm willing to bet that everybody that sees this and sees that Steam is being sued for literally greed would opt out, and this case would fall about because they're not representing anybody, and of course they're going to see that. So, yeah.